Hello there, and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I am your host, Fluff. I thank you so much for joining me, and if you have a question, feel free to leave them down below in the comments or go on over to my Ask FM thing, and maybe I will get your question answered one way or another. Like Blondie. See what I did there? First question, how do you combat going plug-in happy during mixing? Really, it's just something you kind of have to be aware of. I normally don't try to use a plugin unless there is something specific I need that I can't already get from whatever I'm already using or have on the specific instance of the track. For example, obviously with something like delay, I'm hearing a delayed guitar ping-ponging left and right, I'm gonna add a delay. But if I want more cut and I already have an EQ on the bus for the lead guitars, for example, I'm gonna mess with that EQ first before I go to something else like adding more compression or adding compression or adding delay or something like that. I'm going to consciously use what I have in front of me. And I think I kind of naturally do that because when I first started mixing audio, I was completely unaware of third-party plugins. So I would use whatever was built into Reaper. It was Reaper at the time, the DAW I was using and that I learned on. For the solid year and a half, 2 years, I only used stock plugins, and I would use them and use them and use them until I could use them no more. And it was only after I met some other people and kind of reached out that I realized, oh, you can actually buy these plugin things for my DAW too, because I thought they only came with Pro Tools. That's how naive I was. So I was kind of lucky in that respect. But like I said, definitely don't just automatically start grabbing plugins. Wait till you actually need something and then go look for that specific plugin. Hey Fluff, can I run a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier 100 watt head through a 112 cab with a vintage 30? I'm worried about blowing the speaker or even worse, damaging the head. Yes, you can. You do have to be careful, obviously, but keep in mind with any given head, you are not running that full 100 watts at all times. Really, for example, on the dual rectifier, 100 watt dual rectifier, you're really only pushing 40 or 50 watts, even at band volume. You are not using 100 watts. 100 watts is like, everything is completely dimed and you are blowing speakers and it sounds terrible. That's just simply not really usable. The 100 watts is not all usable. So if you're gonna use something like a 60 or 70 watt vintage 30, you are fine. You just have to watch it within reason. This is the same principle with other amps that come in combo form. For example, the Mark IV is a 100 watt amp and it came in a 112 combo for years. All the Mark series came in combo versions and they were, very, very loud amps that had huge wattages. But as long as you watch yourself and watch your speaker sensitivity, you should be just fine. Hey Fluff, are rhythm tracks turned down a little during the solos on some records, or is that just me? Yes sir, they probably are. That is a classic and basic mixing technique when you want to get a solo to pop or kind of poke out of the mix. Rarely is a full mix very static. Usually there's some element and some movement of the faders and automation of something. And for metal solos and aggressive music that have a solo coming in and out, yes, you will want to dip the rhythm tracks, half dB. It doesn't have to be much, but it's just enough to kind of let that solo peek out and shine just a little bit, as opposed to the guitars being static and having the solo kind of pop up. And it'll still kind of tend to get lost a little bit if you don't dip them. But yeah, dipping is a classic trick and it works really, really well. How do you feel about stickers on a guitar? Personally, I don't like it. Honestly, I find it pretty disrespectful. These guitar companies spent decades building the brand, and some of these guys just come along and plaster stickers all over the guitar like they own it or something. And you know what? I disagree. I respectfully disagree. And generally speaking, every time I see anyone that has a bunch of stickers on the guitar, I instantly think, douchebag. My suggestion for you this week is to check out the new record from Breath of Nibiru. I think currently right now they have a single out and the record is forthcoming at the end of March, but you should still check out the single that has recently come out because the rhythm guitars are actually my old PVJ-SX that I actually really miss. Into a two notes Torpedo Live, and it sounded huge. I actually reamped those guitars like 2 years ago. And it just sounds huge. Aaron at Invisage Audio did a wonderful, wonderful job. Super, super cool project. I think you guys would really dig it if you like guitar shreddery and that kind of goodness. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.